Hey everybody, I have a confession. I tend to question things. I just don't take things at face value. I'm not talking about conspiracy theories. It's just that it seems like a lot of things are just grandfathered in for no apparent reason. I can't help it. I've been told I'm a dubious gal. And it's not that I reject things, it's just that I inspect things. Kind of high on my list of scrutiny is this whole idea of shooting off fireworks. I know a lot of people love fireworks, but the dubious gal in me has never quite understood why. Every year we're told this is how we celebrate our country and New Year's, but all I hear are explosions. I think about terrified dogs running away from home, people dealing with PTSD. I think about brush fires. I think about the thousands of dollars that go up in smoke. And I wonder, is this still the best way to celebrate? Now, don't get me wrong, I love the 4th of July. I love seeing the little flags in people's yards. I love neighbors decorating their homes. I love celebrating this country. I just don't understand why fireworks seem to get a free pass from being questioned. And then it hit me. Maybe this isn't really about fireworks. So yeah, it's not really about fireworks, although that is a very powerful example. A lot of things are like that. We've just done them for so long that we don't even ask why we do them. So the other day I was doing some work and I had to meet with this attorney. And she was dressed in the heaviest, thick, dark suit you would ever want to see in the middle of the winter. Problem is, it was the middle of the summer. It was literally 100 degrees outside, and I thought, dress codes, I guess they still exist. And I'm not picking on lawyers, even though they may be one of the last people to still keep these dress codes. But it made me wonder. It made me think about a story. Back in my corporate life, I was at a manager's meeting, and for about the 20,000th time, we were discussing the dress code around the office. Apparently, a lot of women had been showing up in sandals, or as we called them in the corporate world, open-toed shoes. Open-toed shoes just aren't appropriate for the office. So we're discussing this, and it comes my turn to speak, and I brought some props. And I said to the group, I said, so if I come to work in a nice professional summer dress, is it more appropriate for me to be wearing these dress sandals? Or would you rather me wear these hiking boots? And the hiking boots I brought were in way worse shape than that. I said, because according to this rule you're trying to impose, those hiking boots would be the appropriate choice. Now, which one really looks better? Which one looks more professional? Are you really that afraid of a little toe cleavage? Maybe one of my favorite things about being mostly retired is my dress code is typically t-shirts and shorts. And flip-flops. Little things, bigger things. I just question things. I can't help it. So a lot of people like to say to us, get off your phone, go read a book. Stop scrolling the internet. Get off social media, go read a book. And before that, back in the day, it was stop watching television and go read a book. Well, I had to wonder, what is it that's so sacred about books? Just because something is bound between two covers and printed, does that mean it's worth reading? Are all books good? Now, before I ruffle too many bookworm feathers, let me say I really do love books. I love how they smell. I love how they feel. I love to turn a page and hear it, that I'm making progress in the book. And I love hanging out in libraries. It's just that when someone says go read a book, I'm like, is that necessarily going to be better than the social media I'm looking at or the show I'm watching? Cosmo, really? So as I like to do, I went to one of our smaller library branches the other day, and I took a little footage. So I wandered through the library for a while. Shh. And one of the first books I pulled off a shelf was about the evolution of the human head. It was enormous, which now that I think about it, seems really appropriate. Then I came across a book on the art of forgery, how to forgery. Apparently, pretending something is real is an art form. That one actually looked pretty fascinating to me. And then it was haircutting for dummies. Lord help me. As a frugal gal, I was genuinely tempted to check that one out. One of the weirdest things about being frugal is that eventually you start wondering if you can do things you have absolutely no business trying to do. Sometimes it's hard to be me, always questioning things. What about this thing we call daylight savings time? Y'all, I hate it. When you're in Texas and it's 9 p.m. and it's still light and it's 95 degrees outside, we really just want the sun to go down, not to stay up longer. Daylight savings time was invented, I guess, in 1918 because we needed to conserve energy. Back then it conserved energy because no one had air conditioning. Well, you know, around here in July and August, it can be 95 degrees at 9 p.m. We really need the sun to go down earlier, not an hour later. Arizona is a state that saw the light on that and recognized that they were actually wasting far more energy keeping the air conditioners blaring that late into the evening. As a native-born Texan, as a little kid, I even started to wonder why. I don't want to go to bed when it's daylight. I don't want to still be sweating on an evening walk at 10 o'clock. It would help to get rid of daylight savings time around here. But no one questions it because over a century ago, that's what we started doing, and we just keep doing it. So yeah, I know I hit on some traditions today, things that maybe are near and dear to some people. But I'm not rejecting tradition. I'm inspecting traditions and daily things. I can't help it. It's just who I am. If you'd like to question things or if you agree or disagree with any of these, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. I'd love for you to also like this video and subscribe to the channel, Getting Older and Growing Bolder, where we talk about all things getting older. Some of them are the wisdom to look at things differently. I tend to question things. I know, my friends are like, no shit,